Today we're looking at the Aputure Amaran 100X that I'm being lit by right now. All right, we have a new Aputure Amaran 100X light. This is a bicolor light. Goes down to 2700 Kelvin all the way up to 6500 K. So let's go ahead and get this thing unboxed really quick and see what's inside. Nice white box. There's a little piece of sticker right there. And hopefully we can get this thing open here. Right off the bat, we have some paperwork and stickers. So we'll go ahead and put that aside. Nice thick chunk of protective foam. I like to see that. And here's that first view inside the box. Looks nicely packaged. We got a little bag right here that says spare parts on it. It's got two knobs. And here's part of our power cable. And this looks like a nice thick power cord. And here's the other part of that with the brick. And it has this wire cable here so you can hang it and have no issues there. So that's awesome. All right, how do they want you to take this thing out of here? See. Okay, oh, there we go. So there's a nice foam ring here that helped this light to sit inside this dome. That's interesting. Looks like there's a little clip here that I'm going to pull back and be able to turn the front of this and take it off. I don't see any other protective stickers or anything on there, so that looks like it's good to go. And wow, I mean, it is plastic, of course. I mean, that's how this line is able to be so much cheaper than their higher end products, but it doesn't feel cheap by any means. It feels really nice. It's a nice, solid little brick. Looking at the back here, I can see we have these two knobs, one obviously for the color temperature and one for the power or brightness. And that's so interesting. They give you two extra spare knobs there. And on the base here, you can see your mount option is, you know, it's plastic, but it doesn't seem cheap by any means. I mean, it's not like it's cheap plastic. It's just good plastic. You do have a little on-off switch there. So that is the Aputure Amaran 100X. Nice little light. It definitely seems robust. This unit does have a fan, and the fan is located on the bottom here. As we all know, these lights come with this standard reflector. It's just a cheap reflector that they throw in there just so you have something. I really wouldn't recommend using this unless you need a very high-key situation, but maybe you do. So, I mean, you're not going to want to throw this away, but this isn't really the first light modifier you're going to be reaching for. You're going to be wanting something more like a softbox, a parabolic umbrella, something like that. So interestingly, this light on the stand mount here has a little section for an umbrella. There's a little hole there with a thumb screw so you can stick the arm of an umbrella in here. And I actually have an umbrella by Paul C. Buff that I have for my strobes. And it's a parabolic umbrella, and I'm really curious to see if I can use this light with that umbrella. So I'm gonna go ahead and set that up now and see if this thing will work with that. So on the back here with the power button, I can go ahead and press it and it goes up by, it looks like 20% increments for just a quick change in power. That's actually pretty nice. Or I can roll the knob and it goes into single digits, you know, increasing or decreasing the power. So that is a very fine-tuned style of adjustment that I like. With the CCT knob, let's go ahead and press it. All right, so there's our 5600 and 6500. And this camera is set to daylight, so this should look relatively normal coming out of here. Although to my eye, it looks like very cool color of light. And this is down to 2700K. So the camera should be picking up this color temperature. I'm going to turn the power way down. We're at 5% now, just so you can see, you know, the color of the light that's coming out of this thing. Let me turn it all the way down to 1%. 4, 3, 2, and 1. There's 1% there, guys, and you can see just how warm of a light that is. That's pretty nice. I can hear the fan. The fan is on. It's relatively quiet. It's interesting. I like this little handle back here. So being that all of this is plastic, I mean, you're not going to want to crank down on this like really, really hard. You just kind of want it snug. So with the way I'm setting it up with this parabolic umbrella, I'm going to go ahead and angle it up just a little bit. And here's this giant Paul Buff parabolic umbrella. I actually have another, the next size up also. So this is my smaller one. and I want to say it's 4 foot across. I think I can measure it real quick. Actually, yeah, let me do that. 44 inches across on this Parabolic Umbrella. This is pretty cool because this thing is nice and stout. I would consider this to be heavy duty, but it's also light. Let me see if I can turn this light so you can watch what I'm doing here. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the hole. So first of all, this is the setup. You know, normally you'd want something like that. That's, I can't remember exactly what that thing's called, but it's, you know, the lantern style. And that's, yeah. So that's a nice big source of light, very soft. And with the Parabolic Umbrella, I should have somewhat the same thing. Umbrellas like this are really soft. It's a large light source. It's actually a reflected light source as well. So the light is not being directly shined on the subject, it is reflecting off that, which makes it even softer. And as for stills photography and strobes, these things are beautiful. So I thought, man, how cool would it be if I could get this Amaran with this umbrella holder here that's built into the light and use this reflector with an LED video light. So you can see the back here. We're on 1% at 2700K, and that's just so you can actually see what's going on. I will go ahead and try to set this light up and light myself with it, and that way maybe you can see just what this does. All right, so far this is my normal light setup. I have two lights. I have the lantern up there, and you can see there's another panel light right here. So I normally have this lantern here as like my main light, and it does really well. And then I'll have that kind of as a rim light. And this is what this setup usually looks like. You can see I'm being lit in the front by that big lantern that's basically hanging right there, and it does a really, really good job. And then I have my rim light kind of off at like a 45-degree angle back behind me there, which you can see kind of lighting the side of my head, and you know that it's not correctly placed exactly what like I normally have it, but it's somewhat there. So this is pretty much it. This is what it looks like. Nice soft light, a little bit harder rim light. I like it. I like the way it looks. So what I'm going to do now is remove this big lantern here, and I'm going to replace that with the new light. All right, well here we are being lit by the Amaran 100X. We are only at 10% on this light. With this Parabolic Umbrella, it is such a focused light that I don't really need all that much power, as well as the fact that it's a silver reflection material. So it seems like I have it somewhat in the same spot as what my other light was. Hopefully it's gonna be a good comparison here, but overall, I think that the light is a lot more focused, a lot less of it is being thrown around the background, and I also had to reduce my rim light back there down to 5%, whereas it was at 10% before. So because this light is all the way down at 10%, I reduced that down to 5%, if that makes any sense. So hopefully you're getting a good idea of what this setup is going to do. It should be still pretty soft, even lighting on me. And that parabolic should be big enough to make that some pretty soft light. It's cool though, because it's so focused in more of like a general area rather than just a big white ball that's just putting light everywhere. I think this is gonna look good. So what do you guys think? Which one do you think is producing a better, softer light? Or does it even matter for whatever this is, whatever it's producing? Is it just good enough? Maybe better, who knows? All right, real quick, with the same white balance setting on the camera, which is set to daylight, I went ahead and set this 100X to 3200K just to show you the color temperature of light that this is now set at. Now I'm gonna go ahead and change the white balance setting in camera to make this look more natural, more white. And we'll see if the overall effect is different, warmer perhaps. All right, I've now set the camera's white balance to 3200K. So the camera and the light are seeing the same white. No longer is this orange light orange to the camera. This orange 3200K light is now white. The interesting thing is though, is that now my rim light that is 5600K or daylight colored now might look a lot more blue. And I did turn that way down from 5%, a whopping 5%, down to 1%, because being that there was such a difference in color now, this looked a lot brighter. So I turned that way down to 1%. We're still at 10% on our main light here. And I'm curious what you guys think. Does this effect look good, look bad, look better than it did before? What do you think? Comment below. Because now we have a nice warm glow here, although the camera sees it as white, but it still might overall come off as a warmer, more natural looking light. I'm not sure, I'm gonna have to review this myself. But I now have this effect of this kind of bluish colored rim light. Well, all right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this really just quick and dirty look at the Amaran 100X. I've been wanting a light by Aputure for a long time, and I finally bit the bullet and did it. I did need a third light for different situations, and also I wanted a light that had bicolor capabilities so I can do different lighting scenarios, lighting setups if I wanted. So I'm really curious what you guys thought overall. Did you like the original light by Godox? Did you like this setup that I now have by Amaran with a parabolic reflector? And what did you think about the difference in light temperature from the 3200 and the more blue rim light to more what it's set up to now, which is just a normal 5600 all the way around? This is pretty much what I think I'm going to stick to, just 5600 all the way around. But I do like the option of having the 3200K warm light if I want it or need it for a certain situation. With that being said, guys, so far my initial impression just here in person is that this looks like a pretty awesome little light. I'm gonna get some good use out of it. I'm glad I got it for a good price, but I will link all of this stuff down in the description below if you're curious. And yeah, hope you enjoyed this one.